Welcome to solverfy.
The topic that we are going to study today is barriers to entry. Now, first of all, what exactly barriers to entry is? So, barriers to entry can be defined as certain kind of factors which prevent the new firms to enter a market or an industry. Now, the basic purpose of these barriers to entry is to limit the competition. So, these may include some high startup costs, or we can say some certain technological or legal factors, or strict government guidelines. So, which hinder, which pose as an obstacles for the new firms to enter the market or the industry. Now, one by one, we will study whether these scenarios are barriers to entry. The first is part A. A city passes a law on how many licenses it will issue for taxi cabs. So, yes, it is a kind of barrier to entry which is enforced by the government. Now, what happens that a city has passed a law, so which states that so these are the number of the licenses which will be issued by for the taxi cabs. Now, the basic purpose of passing such laws or by the government is to ensure that the customers get the appropriate amount of goods and services, that is the right quantity of the taxi cab service is provided to the customers. Now, coming to part B, the city passes a law that all taxi cab drivers must pass a driving safety test and have insurance. No, it is not a barrier to entry. It is more a kind of a government law. So, a government has passed the law that all the people who will drive taxi cab, they will have to pass a driving safety test and have insurance. The basic purpose of passing such law is to ensure that the customers who are traveling in the taxi, they are safe. There is no injury to their lives. Now, next is a well known trademark. So, we can say yes, it is a barrier to entry. Rather, it is a barrier to entry which is enforced by the government. Now, trademarks can be defined as some special symbols, logos, or combination of these two. So, which helps in distinguishing the products of one seller from the products of another seller. So the basic purpose of the trademarks is to provide some exclusive intellectual property rights to the seller. So, which distinguish the products of one seller from those of the another seller. So, it is a government enforced barrier to entry. Now, coming to the next part, which says that owning a spring that offers very pure water. So no, it is not a barrier to entry. So in this, what is saying that a spring is offering very pure water. So it is spring is not the only way through which you can get very pure water. There are many other ways which through which you can get the very pure water. So it is not a barrier to entry. So no exclusive right is there that only spring will offer this very pure water. Now, next is part E, industry where economies of scale are very large compared to the size of demand in the market. Yes, it is a barrier to entry, but it is a natural barrier to entry. Such kind of barrier to entry is not enforced by the government. Now, what exactly economies of scale are? Economies of scale occurs when a firm is able to produce on such a large scale in such a way that as it increases its output, the average total cost it keeps on decreasing. That is, cost per unit of production it decreases. So this results in firms enjoying the economies of scale. Now, so due to this, the new firms they will hesitate to enter the market because new firms will think that if they enter the market, they will have to surely suffer the cost disadvantage. So we can say that economies of scale is a natural barrier to entry.